We're here at locally owned and operated Sprinkles Donuts in Fresno. It opened back in 2008, and here they make more than 700 donuts every day during the weekdays and more than 1,000 on the weekends. Come on in. Each baked good is made right here. Even the whipped cream and custard fillings are made from scratch. With me for donuts, coffee, and conversation are 4 Central Valley voters.
My name is James Archie Jr. I am a business entrepreneur. I am a member of the Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce, and I am also a local minister.
My name is Michael Mia. I am a 3rd-generation farmer. I was born and raised in Hanford, California, and we've been in this area since 1902.
My name is Dusty Ferentz. I've lived in Visalia for the last 18 years, and I've been the executive director of the Kings County Farm Bureau for the last 3 years.
My name is Corey Jackson, and I'm the founder and CEO of Scrub Can Inc. Here locally in Fresno, California. I've been here for about 33 years.
So we asked our guests a little earlier, what were the issues that they had in mind that were of concern to both themselves and the people in their community. So we're going to start with the first one, and that is high-speed rail. The entire state of California will be affected in some way, and one of the main hubs will run through the area of Fresno. So let's discuss that. Let's start with you, James.
My take on the high-speed rail is from a chamber perspective, which is advocating for businesses and hoping that our chamber members and community members have access to the contracting, to the contracts, sitting in the room with the majors and getting access to being able to participate in bids. And we're seeing a lot of activity, but we're not seeing a whole lot of local businesses on the scenes.
What are you guys seeing on this side?
We're seeing a mess. A lot of ground in Kings County has been taken by high-speed rail. We've had 1,250 acres of prime farm ground taken by high-speed rail, and it's a project right now that doesn't look like it's going to be completed, and working with the rail is not easy.
High-speed rail has been called the largest boondoggle in state history, and in the way they're going about building high-speed rail, that's the way it's coming off. You know, they come in with an estimate, and they're 10 times, 100 times over their estimate. You know, it's ridiculous, the cost overruns that high-speed rail has, and also the timing, and just the general planning of high-speed rail. It was supposed to follow a major corridor. You know, going through farmland in Kings County is not a major corridor. You know, if they followed the Interstate 5, you know, agriculture is not against high-speed rail, it's against the placement of high-speed rail.
I guess the question, I mean, what would be the alternative to you? Are we in too deep? What would be the alternative now if it was up to, say, if we had our voice of, hey, let's just stop it, give the people back their land, or whatever the issues are? What's the solution?
I think we need to see it through. I really do. I mean, one, it creates jobs. When we're talking about the economic development of our community or of the valley, we need this.
Now, one of the things that they would need as well is water. Water is a big issue in not only here, but in the entire state. So let's talk about that one.
We need water for agriculture. Without water, we have no agriculture in this valley. I'm a 3rd-generation farmer. I want to have a 4th-generation farmer. Right now, we've put in infrastructure in excess of $1 million to keep our farm going. We've had to lower wells. You know, when you hear stories about 90% of the water is flowing out to the ocean, you know, that's not right. We're the most bountiful area in the entire nation. And for agriculture to disappear because we're running water to the fish and out to the ocean.
As I've been looking at it, is you have a lot of bureaucracy also.
Well, bureaucracy is 97% of the problem with water deliveries in California. We have enough stored water in the state to maintain our farms and grow our cities with the water that we have, but it's mismanaged. Water is able to be shipped through the delta and out to the ocean on biological opinion, which doesn't have to be, it doesn't come from fact. And the numbers are coming back in the last 2 years that the increased flows and the cooler temperatures which have driven these decisions are doing absolutely nothing for fish populations, and they continue to decline.
If it's for our farmers, or for the fish that it's not helping, of course I'm for the farmers or whatever solution.
Well, it's
What do you
bigger
need
than
to
the
do?
it's bigger
It's that
than the
simple.
farmer. If we can't grow food in California, none of us are going to eat.
Our big issue is the increasing cost of fertilizers, chemicals, labor. All those costs are increasing.
Let's talk about the Trump administration, if we may. And we can open it up with anyone, who wants to start.
Depends on who you ask, and there's a different perspective for farmers it's something, from contractors it's something, for small business like me there's a different perspective. Honestly, Trump's presidency hasn't affected my life yet. I may be right in the middle. I'm not on the lower scale, I'm not on the higher end, I'm in the middle to where the tax cut, I haven't seen any. Maybe I don't make it generate enough for it to affect me yet.
James.
I look at it from a standpoint of integrity. And it's not the persona, because I believe when President Trump ran, he was just tongue in cheek when he decided to run. He didn't even think he was going to win because he didn't prepare for the job. I've always admired him as a businessman, but when it comes to, if I'm teaching people about integrity and character, and I'm talking about this is what you should have to do business, this is what you should have to be a standard in your community, but then our president admits that he lies, he admits that he does stuff, and then he's bringing evangelicals and people along, and they're saying, well, as long as you give us a Supreme Court pick, as long as you do this, we're on board with you. It's an integrity issue with me.
Dusty?
The biggest thing for our industry that we talk about with the Trump administration is immigration. We rely on an immigrant workforce. I don't think you're going to find anybody in agriculture that wouldn't prefer to have some sort of meaningful immigration reform. Whether or not the Trump administration is capable of that, that's not a comment on the abilities of our president. That's directed at our House and Congress. So we're hopeful that we have an opportunity for some meaningful immigration reform in the Trump administration. We think that we're probably closer to having that reform now and in the next couple of years than we have been in probably 30 years.
He is trying hard to correct the errors that previous administrations made. And errors just don't get corrected overnight. It may take years to correct some of the flaws that the previous administrations made. Healthcare, you're not going to fix healthcare in a week.
All right, gentlemen, thanks so much for taking time out of your day, your busy days and busy schedules, to be here with us and to talk about these important issues in your community.